Hey Frank and Ashley. I created this video because I thought it was kind of easier just to show you what I found looking at your house and what I think you should do as far as selling it. Um, and I guess the reason I'm doing the video is because I don't really think I have great news for you. So I wanted to show you more specifically so you can see what I'm talking about instead of me just saying, well, hey, I think you ought to just drop the price way down here and not really give you a good reason. The other thing about the video is it's convenient because you can watch it and with the idea, depending on what I find out about the house out on 600 North and its activity, you might want to do this sooner than later and be a little bit more aggressive so that you can make a move on that house, on that property. So anyway, here's your house. As far as looking at it now, keep in mind I'm coming at this from kind of a disadvantage because I've never walked through your house, which that gives me a much better idea of what I'm looking at and what I'm assessing here. Plus, I haven't taken you out and, well, I've been taking you out and showing you some houses, but not necessarily in your area. So, looking at these prices, we're looking at a different price range than what you're selling in. So, so it's kind of hard to say, in comparison, uh, whether your house is priced right or not just by that, just by walking through it. So anyway, I think your house, the exterior, I think that's really sharp looking. I think the wood floors are great. I mean, I think the house overall is really nice. I don't see any drawbacks to it really, just by looking at photos. Now, walking through the house sometimes gives you a more, or looking at going just off of photos might give you a little bit of a fallacy of a perception, but everything else here looks really good. This bathroom, I know these faucets and stuff aren't real expensive. That's probably a $40 uh, pedestal sink and a $70, $50 lavatory faucet, but I mean that could be irrelevant. It does look nice, but I just know that I recognize those. I used to buy them and put them in my rehab homes, so I think they were only about $40. But it still looks nice. You got the hardwood floors here. The bathroom is really great. I mean, there really isn't anything that I would say is a drawback to the home itself. It's all decorated nice. It's on the pond. The basement's finished. It looks cute, so to speak. Um, it's a sharp looking house. So curb appeal, I don't think is a problem. Things like that. But the reason I'm kind of going through this with you is because the deck's great. That's really nice, and it looks nice overlooking the pond and so forth. Um, but the reason I'm going through this with you is because I think you probably need to be a little bit more aggressive. And now keep in mind, I haven't looked at the active listings, and I'll go through that in a minute. But just looking at the sold listings and taking the perspective that um, if I were a buyer's agent looking at your home, showing the buyer your home, and they said, we want to write an offer, I'd go and I'd do this. I'd look at these sold listings in the area and I would tell them what I think they should write you an offer for. And I can't really see anything here based on the solds, okay, that would justify a $275,000 offer. Um, Looking at these just at a glance, and the nice thing is in this video, you can stop it and pause it and look at this data in more detail if you want to at any time. But point being is, this house for 390, I don't know, that's not even worth talking about because it's not even in your ballpark. This house is one that kind of killed you as far as selling. It just sold in June and they undercut you basically, and the house is much larger. So right there, and it also has 5 bedrooms. Sometimes there's a bigger house, doesn't have as many bedrooms, but this one does have the same. It's got 5 bedrooms. Um, you take a quick look at photos, and it's a very nice house. It's 8 years old. I'd say kind of comparable to yours. Now the kitchens, I don't know, that's kind of different style. Yours is big there as well, just like theirs is. You got plenty of counter space in both kitchens, so I'm not sure one kitchen outdoes the other. Kitchens are a big deciding factor. You got the nice big tub and the, big bathroom and stuff. Actually, I think that was that same. No, that's a different pedestal sink. So anyway, just flipping through these, you can stop and look at these in more detail as I'm going through them, but I'm flipping through them fast just for the sake of time. But here's finished basement. This house is just much larger, and if I'm looking as a buyer on what can I get for my dollar, this is unless there's something really spectacular about your house that I'm not seeing in the photos, this one is going to trump you as a buyer. And it doesn't look like this is on a pond, but who knows? So it's 3-car garage. It's really nice looking house. I kind of like your stone front better, but you know, people will pass on that. Let's see what else. So then the next one, this one sold in 15 days. They got 247.5 for this house. They were asking 252. 2,000. It's 5 years old. It's newer. 2,000 square feet. 1,000 square feet in the basement, so it's a little smaller. It's a little bigger on the living space. But to take a quick look at the photos. A little more stone on the front. Still 3-car garage. You got some wood flooring. It's a nice house. But here again, I think now that kitchen, not quite so great. Yours, I think, would probably, with the space, somebody might add an island to your kitchen. They might consider that. But you definitely add a larger kitchen, probably more appealing, I would say. But still, it's a decent house. They got the tub, bigger tub too. You got the 2-person tub. Um, so just kind of flip through these photos. The basement's nicely finished. Now layout, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say whether that layout's appealing in the basement or not. But still a nice home. Obviously much cheaper. Now here's another one. This one was only 4 years old, 1,800 square feet, so this is comparable. Big basement, bigger basement. Now they don't have this one quite as finished, and this is only 4 bedrooms, but not many, some people love a 4-bedroom. Not so many people need a 5. They are harder to find, and so forth, but it looks like this area, somebody built a number of 5-bedroom homes. So here again, this is kind of a sharp house. The kitchen, that didn't look quite so great. Yeah, not. It looks like it's a solid surface countertop with a flush mount sink, which is really sharp. But it's okay. You might call that comparable to yours, but it might not quite be up to snuff. Here again, double vanity. Maybe paint colors could be a little better in this one. But there's the basement, mostly unfinished. They only had 700 square feet of finished space in the basement. I think there was one more I wanted to show you. Oh yeah, here's another one on Pheasant Ridge. Now this one sold a while ago, and it did take a while to sell, which that was a year ago. And here's the other thing to consider about the Warsaw market. I don't know that market off the, like I do Fort Wayne. In Fort Wayne, we've had just take a look at this as I'm talking. But in Fort Wayne, we've had a low inventory of homes. People are not selling. Now I don't know if that's the case out in Warsaw. I'd have to do some research to check and see and go through a bunch of statistics over the last couple of years and things like that. But Loretta, your agent, who I saw was on the listing, she would, if you just called her up and asked her and said, is it more of a buyer's market now, or is there a low inventory like they're having in Fort Wayne? She'd probably just answer that question off the top of her head. She'd probably just know that. But here again, nice homes. You got crown molding. What do they call it? The ceiling. Can't think of it. Not raised ceiling. Yeah, it'll come to me. It's getting late. It's 10 after 11. So here, nice bathroom, big closet. different decor and things like that, but still, really nice house and priced much lower, sold for much lower. So the other concern here is that with looking at these sold comparables, these are going to be the prices, these are going to be the comps that an appraiser is going to use to value your home when you sell it. So there, unfortunately, there is a chance that, even if you got a $275,000 offer, I don't know that an appraiser that it's going to appraise for that value. This one sold for 246, and that took 196 days. Here's the history on it. Looks like, let's see here. Shabowski team, Headington, 298, 298. Wow. Sold for, wait a minute, that's not right. Oh, 2007, okay. So 267, 5, they dropped it, and finally got an offer at 246. So that'll just give you some idea as to what you're looking at. Now I'll pause this for a minute. Next, I'm going to take a look at active listings, which are going to be your competition in the area. Who are you competing against? And we'll take a look at how well you're priced comparatively with everybody else on the market. Okay, so here's the active listings that I found in the area. Actually, this is the whole zip code, 580, which these are probably pretty scattered. Let's see here. Yeah, so here's a map that I just pulled up of all those listings. This is where they're placed around Warsaw, so they're really scattered all over. Looks like they're all on the south side of 30 though. But anyway, so that gives you some idea as far as location goes. That's not a very good map program, but so anyway, here's where you guys are. Take a good look at this. You're the second highest priced house, and looking at square footage, you are 5 bedrooms, but the living space on the ground floor is much smaller than everybody else. So let's just take a quick look at some of these. This house, 284.5. This is 23 years old, 2,400 square feet, 1,200 square feet in the basement. About half of it's finished. So we'll just take a flip through some of these. So it's a little bit older house. And I think, as you look at the interior photos, it's kind of neat looking on the outside, but the interior photos, you get a little outdated feeling to it, I think. Especially the kitchen. Definitely a bit outdated. Not too bad, but it's noticeable that it just looks different. Nice and big though. It looks like it's kind of quiet, or might be not necessarily secluded, but a decent lot. Okay, there's your property. This one, they're asking 270. This just came on the market, but they're 25 years old, 25, almost 2,600 square feet. Now it's not on a basement. Now this one was kind of neat because of the backyard. It's got a pool, and they did a lot of neat landscaping and layout. There's more pictures, but there's a nice kitchen. That's a pretty nice looking kitchen. Again, you can stop this and look at these photos in more detail if you want. But I'm just kind of flipping through them. Just flipping through them quickly, you can still get a good idea of what you're looking at in comparison to your own house. Nice bathroom, got the big tub, so forth. Now the backyard is really kind of spectacular. Again, now keep in mind, pools pools don't really add any value to a home. It's just going to be a matter of it's there. It's probably the worst expenditure. You would buy a house with a pool if you want one, as opposed to putting one in, because you just don't add any value. So you burn every penny you spend on it. Unfortunately, you don't get any value from an appraiser. Now this house is 24 years old. Here, this one's 2,900 square feet, but no basement. Decent sized kitchen. There's an outbuilding, which is kind of nice. Backyard's pretty neat looking. Here again, a pool and a pond. Now this one I think was on 6.5 acres, which is going to be appealing. I mean, that's pretty nice looking property. In fact, as I was looking at this, I thought maybe you guys ought to just buy this house, but I know you guys want to get out of the Warsaw school system and so forth. So they're asking 265.9, 6.5 acres, 2,900 square feet. So here, this one is just another indication that you guys are just not priced in a good place because your competition's kind of beating you out. Um, it's got the 6.5 acres, which maybe the house isn't quite as nice as yours, but they're priced below, and somebody might consider that. I mean, if somebody's looking for acreage, they're obviously not going to be interested in your property. Let's see. Here's another one on Pheasant Ridge. Let's take a look at this. 4 bedrooms, 11 years old, 1,900 square feet. So not much bigger than yours, but it does have a huge basement. Nice looking outside. That's a decent kitchen. Probably about the same countertop space, but yours looks bigger because it's got more of an open area. Oh yeah, and this one had some nice character to it. The pillars and things that kind of, I don't know, a little bit of a wow factor when people walk in the door and they see the ceiling and those pillars and stuff. So basement's nicely finished. Doesn't have a kitchen, but it's got a bar. This is kind of a neat looking area. So that's another one. There was another one here. Yeah, this one at 233.9. Now this one had a nice brick front, 233.9, 7 years old, 1,900 square feet. Now this one did have a small basement, which I think this is probably this one probably sets the bottom of your price range for sure. Just simply because, I mean, it's okay. This one kind of seemed, maybe it's their decorating, but it just seemed kind of busy to me. Um, but the smaller basement, because you have the larger basement, I think that kind of sets you apart from them. Kitchen is decent. Not a huge eat-in area, but I think there's a dining room. Yeah, there's a dining room. Didn't really have a good back picture of the backyard. So anyway, I think that kind of gives you some idea. What I would probably suggest is that you get a bit more aggressive on dropping your price. I think you guys should probably be, let's take a look at this one. I think you might want to get down to like 265, to be honest with you. Did we look at that one? Yeah, that one had the pool. No basement. So larger living space, no basement. I don't know. This one might kind of put you at the 270 mark. Um, but if you're wanting to sell, plus with the whole idea that winter's coming, pretty much after Thanksgiving, things really kind of slow down. So you've got we're approaching the middle of October, so you'll have about 6 weeks from now before there's a drop off in activity. Plus, since you're wanting to get this other house, you might consider dropping this thing and get a bit more aggressive. I think where you really need to be is probably in the high 260s and see what happens. Feedback and things like that. See if you get any more activity and showings. There's also a way to check internet hits on the house. What pops up on people's radar and how many times, how many agents see it, how many other internet sites, well, not other internet sites, but how many um, buyers actually hit on it as well. So that's an indication. But you might have to get down into the 264, get down to 264.9. And I know we were talking about today. You said your bottom price was probably 255, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but from what I'm seeing here, it looks like that might be where you end up, unfortunately. Because here's one at 1953 square feet. Yeah, and that was the one I think that had the neat ceiling and yeah, the pillar and the ceiling. So, that is kind of a tough competition for you, I think. 1953. Yeah, and it's got a full basement too. So, and it's all finished and looks really nice. So I think this house might actually be your toughest competition, and it's on your street. So, so that's kind of a tough one. I think the thing that sets you apart here would be the fifth bedroom, and I don't know, that's probably not that appealing to a large number of people, although they are kind of hard to find. But it's kind of tough to tell right now with the way the market has been. And then, like I said, I don't know the market in Warsaw, but I'd have to do a bit more intense research to get a better beat on the market overall. So anyway, here I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but depending on what you guys are wanting to do and when, I definitely think you're too high priced, unfortunately. How far you need to go, you might need to get down to the 255. I mean, I hate to tell you, but I wish I could just wave a wand and you get 300, um, but this is what I'm seeing. So I did the video so that you guys could see exactly what we look at, what other agents are going to look at. Other agents are going to look at this. They're going to be looking at these houses, and they're going to be comparing them. The buyers are going to be comparing them. How much bang do I get for my buck, and that kind of thing. So anyway, I hope this helps. I'll let you know tomorrow, or I'll let you know as soon as I hear something on the other house and get the taxes and that kind of stuff. But hopefully this will give you an idea as to what to expect on your home.